Every single day we get so many questions. So what do we do about it? We are taking questions directly from our Facebook group from people who are getting started just like you. Welcome to KT9's first Q&A video. What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking us out. I have a quick little memo that we're gonna put in here. So tonight, right now, we are actually announcing a huge giveaway. So what we are doing is we are having a giveaway. There's a link down below where you can enter this giveaway, and what it is for is a Honey Badger Boost Master Package Complete Domination. It includes everything. It's studio pictures, lifestyle pictures, listing optimization. It actually includes a 1-hour call about PPC and a 30-minute call about reviews. It's literally everything on our site. It is listed for $1,200, and we are giving it away for free to one of you. All you have to do to enter is go down below, click the gleam.io link, and all you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, put in your information, and then go over to Facebook, like our page, join our group if you'd like to, and then you are entered. And the cool thing about this is every single 24 hours, you can actually go in and re-enter, get some more entries. And what we're also doing is there will also be actually a referral block where you can actually give your email to someone else. They can sign up for an entry, put your referral in, and then both of you will get an entry. This is open for the next 14 days, 2 weeks. Somebody is gonna win a $1,200 Honey Badger Boost giveaway. Let's get to it.
What up, guys? Welcome to the channel. We are pumped to have you here. Like T just said, we have an Amazon seller group, our own private Facebook group that you guys can get into. The reason it's going to help you, the reason it's actually going to benefit you is that there are a ton of people, whether they're beginners, intermediate, advanced sellers, and they're ready to answer questions in this group. It's actually a really active and a really thriving community. So like if you ask a question, you're going to get an answer really quickly. We're in there, we're active, we're answering questions, and at some point we wanted to say, hey, what are the questions that we should actually broadcast to you guys, to the bigger audience? So we put out a poll and we got some answers, and we're going to answer some questions straight from the Facebook group. Before we do that, I just want to say thank you for 1,000 subscribers, because honestly, it's kind of amazing. It is. Like when you start a YouTube channel, you're like, is it going to work? Like, are people actually going to watch? And it's grown really fast. You guys are really active. Again, just the fact that you guys are participating and commenting and liking these videos, it means a ton to us. So we just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for that. Let's jump into these questions.
Let's do it.
All right, so the first, I'm actually reading off a laptop right here. So we're reading exact questions, and we'll have screenshots right here. So first question we got, Michael asked, how many sellers need to be selling a product in order for it to be considered a good market and have a proven track record? Struggling with a product idea now, there are only a few sellers selling in. It looks like a relatively new product, so kind of iffy, but contacting suppliers and see if I can get it sourced. So, Kel, how many sellers need to be selling a product for it to be a good market?
It's a super interesting debate. I wouldn't say there's a wrong answer or a right answer to this question. That's a really, really good question. I think it gets back to the idea of selling a product that is proven versus selling a product that might have more upside but is not proven, right? So like if you think about it, if you're inventing a new product, you're inventing the newest thing that no one has ever thought of before, you technically don't know if there's a market for it, right? Like that person, these people could choose not to buy it. It's never been heard of before. So that's kind of what you're doing, Michael, when you're thinking of a market that has a few sellers or is kind of upcoming. You're not really sure if it's going to take. So is that a good idea further down the line when you have more money to work with and you could risk a product and try this? Sure, of course. For a first product, maybe a more proven market.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly it falls down to meeting the parameters that we talk about in product research. One of the parameters is, we've talked about this in other videos, but 7 out of the top 10 need to have at least $5,000 in revenue. If that happens, you know that there is demand for it. And that's where the risk is if there's only a couple sellers, you don't know if the demand is there or not. But I think that if on the first page, top 10, there's at least 7 that have over 5,000 revenue, then the demand is there. But you have to be careful with that, because if there's only 12 sellers and 10 of them have over $5,000 in revenue, you could look at that and be like, oh, that's an amazing product. But watch out, because if there's only a few sellers, a big thing you need to be watching out for is if it's patented or not.
That's right. Yep.
Because if there's only a couple, then there could be some other thing that's determining the market there.
Yep.
This is actually interesting because this person, Terry, added on that same note, is there a limit on too many sellers?
Yeah, this is such a good question, but I think it's putting it ahead of the real question. The real question is, does this product have good margins? Is it good quality? Am I going to make profit on it, right? This is a question that's a little bit deeper into the weeds, I would say. Focus on those bigger things. Is there ROI? Is there demand? Is there low competition on reviews? These things that we talk about in our product research video. And then if you're deciding between, a product that has this and a product that has that, then maybe you could decide this question down the road. But I would say look at different things first before you even think about this.
It's never impacted us that there's been too many sellers.
Yeah.
So if there's 40 pages of people selling, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, our goal is to get to the first page, and I'm only competing with, in my end goal, I only want to compete with the top 5 people. I don't want to compete with 40 pages. The only thing where this ever comes into anything is if you see something where there's only 5 people on it, you want to make sure it's not patented, stuff like that.
Yep.
So let's go down. So Nikolai, this is, I actually commented back on this one. The question is literally how to optimize PPC.
That's funny. We're actually making a video. We're going to shoot it right after this. We're going to literally show you how to optimize PPC. That is one of the toughest questions we get. It's one of the toughest questions on YouTube in general. We're going to answer it, but we have to make a whole nother video about it.
Yeah.
We literally cannot do it in this setting.
We can't do it, and I think we're going to go over this a lot more in the next video, so make sure you come back, check that out. But optimizing PPC, there's not a cookie cutter answer for that.
Right.
It depends. So we're going to make a whole nother video on that, but let's see. Next question. Well, the next question is kind of sort of the same from Kenny. How to minimize the cost of running PPC.
That's awesome. I have a hack for this. It's an actual software. I don't really want to just give it away right here because I want to explain why you should use the software before you just jump in. I think it's important to know why. And again, check out that next PPC video.
I mean, the logistical answer of this is make sure you set your budgets low. If the question is literally how to minimize the cost of running PPC, if you're trying to minimize costs, then either don't run it or set your daily budgets low. That would minimize the cost. But
use our PPC hack. We have another video. It's about low bid ACOS campaign. Use that one. That one won't cost you any money. That is an easy way to minimize PPC.
Come back for our next PPC video.
Yep.
All right. We got, Terry. I think this is the same Terry from before. What are your tactics for negotiation? I assume this is talking about suppliers. So we're actually making another video on this as well.
Yeah.
But briefly, what are some tactics for negotiations?
Honestly, we don't use templates. Let's just get a more personable feel with suppliers. That's what we really try to do. We will ask one question that we want you to template out. But after that question is answered, it's more people to people.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, a lot of people will use templates and stuff because it makes you seem professional. And you need to be professional. You can't just type in and be like, yo, dog, how much this costs? And spell words wrong. You can't do that because they won't take you seriously. But being professional, be personable, there's not this copy and paste. But I think in negotiating, briefly, really it's following, there's not a secret key to this, people. It's following the typical routines of negotiation. If they say the cost of this unit is $20 and you want to get the cost down to $15, you don't say I wanted it $15. You say I wanted it $8. And then they go $19 and you say okay $9. Then they say $17. Then you say okay $11. Negotiate to the middle price. They're normal everyday rules to negotiation. You can probably Google it, but we'll talk about that in our supplier video. So sorry, a lot of these answers are we'll talk about it in another video, but a lot of these are really good questions that we want to get more in depth in. So let's go to the next one. Oh, Tom, here we go. This is a good one. What spreadsheets or apps do you use daily to track profit, expenses, PPC, and cash flow?
That's perfect. We use Sellix, Sellix.com. We'll link it below. I'm working on getting you guys a coupon code so you can get a big discount. I'm trying to contact all these owners and stuff. But so check that, especially if this is a little bit later you're watching this. I'll probably have a discount for you. Sellix, what it does, it basically just gives you a snapshot. Daily sales, PPC costs. It runs it all down and gives you your profit. It's really a fun app. It's just something that you can check every day and see how you're making progress.
And you can set different date ranges and say this week or last month or over the past 6 months, whatever. You just put in your cost for everything, and then it actually also connects with your Amazon account, pulls all that stuff. But that is the big one. For a while, we were tracking it using spreadsheets and stuff, but it's just it's too hard to do. I know we've tried Fetcher before, and I know there are a lot of other people that use Fetcher. We couldn't get Fetcher to work, right? Work at all. I don't know if it was us or if it was the software, but we use Sellix, and works pretty well.
So my guy Troy Harrington has the next question. This guy's awesome. He's great at product research if you need help with that. Since everyone is looking for products that match the 7 and 7 rule, would expanding on that a bit still be worthwhile? Great question. But what he means by the 7 and 7 rule is what Taylor was just saying. 7 out of the top 10 need to have over $5,000 in revenue, and 7 out of the top 10 need to have less than 75 or less than 100 reviews. So that's a 7 and 7 rule.
Yep. And I actually posted on this, I asked, what did you mean by expand on that? Explain why we use that, why we do that. So I think that's what Troy's asking, and I think Troy knows the answer to this, but just to make it clear for everyone, when we're looking at 7 out of the top 10 that have over $5,000 in revenue, I actually said this earlier, but that is measuring demand.
Yeah.
We want to make sure demand is there. We know that if 7 out of the top 10 are doing at least $5,000 in revenue, that people are buying it, people are spending money on it, and if we launch the same product, similar product, whatever, that it will sell. Yep. When we look at 7 out of the top 10 that we want to have under 75 reviews, that is really measuring competition, right? So if you're looking at a page and 5 out of the top 10 have over 1,000 reviews, that is going to be incredibly hard to compete with because competition is so high. But if 7 out of the top 10 have under 75 reviews, that's something that we feel like we can, and in turn you can get in, compete with that, and make money.
And we don't just make that up. Like, we've actually tried it, products that have worse competition than that or worse demand than that, and that's the sweet spot. That's where you want to be.
All right.
So Tom.
This is the same Tom from earlier.
Okay.
I like people asking more than one question. Like, we're totally here available to answer questions. So
okay, this is a supplier question. He's talking about supplier contracts. Do you guys have a sample contract used with suppliers? What includes verbiage for replacements for defects, extra parts, even what is considered a failed inspection? Great question, Tom. I actually just answered this the other day. I had to type it out individually. So this is awesome that we're answering it for everybody to see. But what you should, don't worry about paperwork with the Chinese, okay? I know this sounds weird, but they don't care about the paperwork. There's a reason why there's 50 different manufacturers making the same product. They don't care about patents. They don't care about any of that paperwork stuff. The way to protect yourself is to use Alibaba Trade Assurance, or even better, PayPal Goods and Services. So you have to pay a fee when you pay someone by PayPal Goods and Services, but what that does is it allows you protection and a third party where you can get your money back if it sucks. So instead of writing a contract that they don't care about, the product shows up defective, all you have to do is go to PayPal and say, look, this product is defective, give me my money back. And PayPal, which is a billion-dollar company and doesn't care about losing a few $1,000s here or there, will give you your money back.
Right. And yeah, I mean, that's really it, is trying to formulate some kind of contract with some random person in China it's difficult.
A waste of time.
It's difficult. We rely on the power of multi-billion-dollar companies to kind of provide that for us.
You got a big enforcer behind you when you have those companies.
Okay. Marilyn asks, I'd like to see more on how to choose your product, comparison between some good products. I track 999, ROI, product improvement, and just in general, how is your process of choosing the right product and the improvements you'll make to it? Example, is it even worth it to improve it even when you have to take the risk to sell it more expensive, or is it better to leave it the way it is and sell it more for a lower price?
That's a bunch of questions,
That's
Marilyn.
a lot of questions.
I love it. Let me start with the first one.
How to choose your product.
If I'm comparing between some good products, what am I picking between? We go over this in a bunch of videos, but number one is ROI, and number two is product quality. So if one has a higher ROI, I'm picking that one. And then if the ROIs are equal, I'm picking the one that has the highest quality. Let's try to knock these out kind of quickly.
I track 999. I assume that's trying to figure out how much your competition's has in stock.
Yep.
That's never bothered us. We don't really care.
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't matter.
You can do it, but it doesn't matter.
There are a lot of people who like, oh, we have to check this. I don't care. If I'm going to find the product, I'm going to market it better, have better pictures, whatever, and doesn't matter how much they have installed.
Product improvement in the changes you make to it. This is a great question.
So should you bundle it? Should you make it better to charge more for it?
Her big question is should you make it better and sell it at a higher price, or should you leave it the way it is and sell for a lower price? So that's an amazing question. I would say always fight for the lowest price. You want to add the most value too, but the way Amazon works is that it's basing it on price and it's basing it on reviews. So, and sales velocity and all that stuff. But it's going to be a lot harder to rank if you sell something for a higher price than your biggest competitor. So find a way to make it better that doesn't add cost. So add an ebook, add a very cheap light accessory, add something small instead of adding something that adds to your cost significantly.
Yeah. I think that's good. I think that really it's a competition of two mindsets, right? So this example is you have the Apple way of doing things and you have the Walmart way of doing things. Mm-hmm. Or I won't even use Apple. Let's use Lamborghini. Yeah. Okay? Lamborghini sells a few cars, but they're really powerful, really like limited quantity, that kind of things, right? Mm-hmm. Walmart sells a whole bunch of really cheap things. So they value volume over price, right? The way that Amazon works, you're playing more to the algorithm that Amazon has when you go the Walmart strategy and sell more products at a lower cost. We do say that you should be looking for products and product research that cost more than 30, 35, 40 bucks because that is going to give you more margin to play with.
For sure.
But yeah.
Adonis asks, he's a cool guy. He has his own YouTube channel. Shout out his channel. Has virtual assistants a good idea? So great idea. We have a couple. I've actually hired 2 virtual assistants so far. Hired them from the Philippines. They do a little bit of Facebook marketing for us. They do a little bit of review stuff for us. It's actually a great idea. They work for dirt cheap. They work very hard. They're nice people. They speak good English. I highly recommend it. We can make a whole nother video about how to hire them, obviously. But the question was, is it a good idea? I would say, heck yeah.
And it's also dependent on what you need a virtual assistant to do. Yeah. Don't hire a virtual assistant to do your product research for you because that's the most important part of your business, right? Hire them if you need them. Yes, they can be a good idea.
Norman. What up, Norman?
VL, Viral Launch versus Jungle Scout versus Seller Prime.
Don't know what Seller Prime is.
Never used Seller Prime.
Viral Launch versus Jungle Scout. If you're talking about product research in general, we use Jungle Scout. In the next video that we're going to post here, I'm going to talk about a way that you can use Viral Launch keyword research, which is a subset of Viral Launch's tools, in order to find great products. But the big tools like market intelligence and product discovery, we don't necessarily need them. They're kind of expensive. They're great, but you don't have to have them.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is. We talk about Jungle Scout so much because that is what we use.
Yeah, and it's cheap.
Right. It's $97 one time. There's no monthly fee. There's no anything like that. That's why we use it. Yeah. So, sorry we don't know what Seller Prime is. We could look it up. Yeah. Christine asked, is it okay to go for markets that have the same item but different variations? Or do you tend to go for markets that have the exact same items listed? By markets, I mean basically keywords.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. That's actually a great question. I think it comes around to the fact of differentiation. So if you have like 6 or 7 listings that are selling the exact same product, I think that's actually a benefit to you because you can tweak it and make it a little bit better, add a little bundle, and win. If there's a bunch of bundles already, I've seen this a lot. This is actually really hard to sell in. Like if it's there's a category, bachelorette party decorations. And all of those are bundled. Like they come with signs, they come with like streamers, they come with all different stuff, and every single one is a different bundle. That's kind of hard to differentiate yourself, especially on that little thumbnail. You know what I mean? I would kind of stick away from that. Plus, it's harder to source and have a really complicated bundle. So I would vote more for the ones that are the same.
Yeah, and I think that if you have, like Kel said, if you find one that's all the same, mix it up and make it into a bundle. Yeah. See what happens.
Yep.
Christine actually asked another question. For products that sell over 9,000 units monthly, do you tend to take the average of the first page to decide on a number of giveaways to make the number more feasible, or do you just stick with using that first organic listing and use Viral Launch product launch since it's such a high amount of giveaways?
My goodness, Christine, you must be going into some categories. If you can afford a category that has 9,000 a month giveaways,
is that like one person having 9,000 sales a month?
It must be.
That's a lot. So what we've always done for giveaways is we actually take an average of the top 5. We take an average of the top 5 of how many units those people are selling a day, and that's what we use for product launches. If number 1 is selling 9,000 units a day, then I would assume that 2, 3, 4, and 5 are probably over 1,000, or they have a couple hundred at least. We do take that average, but I think it's also dependent on what your final goal is. Is your final goal to get to the first page? Is your final goal to get to the top 5? Or is your final goal to get to number 1? If your final goal is to get to number 1, then yeah, you need to
give away what number 1 gets.
To give away what number 1 is.
But that is dependent, very dependent on the keyword you choose.
Yes.
So the way Taylor's answering this question is because you're talking about the broadest keyword, the biggest keyword, obviously, because 9,000 units. But say you go after a long tail keyword like we teach here. We don't really recommend. She's doing some advanced stuff here. But if you go after long tail keywords instead, you're going to have to get on seller.tools to know how many to give away for those keywords. You can't just give away 9,000 on a really long tail keyword. It's a waste of money.
Yep.
Okay? That was just a caveat.
All right. Couple more questions. Oh, this one. I don't know if we're going to be able to answer this one, but we'll talk about it.
How about taxes?
Raul, I think, asked, how about paying taxes from states you have nexus in? Do we have a seller's permit from those states?
We are not tax accountants. I apologize.
Nope, not tax accountants. I know this has actually been in the news. President Donald Trump has talked about this and Amazon, but we're not tax accountants. I'm really sorry. Rebecca asked, how saturated is too saturated?
That's hilarious. I have a really, one of my favorite quotes is your competition really your competition if you have more money than them? So, I mean, if you have a huge budget and you have a ton of cash, it doesn't really matter. You can go into any category that you want on Amazon. That's why in one of our videos, we are going to talk about how much money you need for each category based on your budget. How much money you need for a big launch, for a small launch, all that stuff.
If you're going by the product research requirements that we talk about and we use ourselves, then you don't have to worry about saturation.
Good answer. Quick and easy.
That's the bar.
We're trying to keep it fresh here, guys. I hope you're still with us.
Rebecca again asked, are parent-child ASINs a good idea? I'm not talking about offering the exact same product just in a different color, but rather doing a variation. Or do your child products end up getting lost? No, so I mean, we have parent and child ASINs. They range from different colors to different bundles in terms of quantity that's in them. They range from, like, if we sell 4 different products that are all 4 of them are different colors, then we'll actually have another one that's a child or parent, whichever way we set it up, that's actually a 4-pack of all 4 different colors.
Yeah.
I don't think child ever gets lost because it ends up showing up underneath the parent ASIN on the listing.
Yeah.
So it actually helps you because that means if you have 5 different variations or 5 different things that are a parent and then 4 child, what that's actually doing is you're selling 5 products on one listing.
And the reviews start to accumulate.
And so reviews you only have to get once instead of 5 times. When you're doing giveaways, you only have to do giveaways for 1 listing instead of doing giveaways for 5 listings. So there are definitely benefits.
Yep. Amadeo said, what is the actual...
There's no way that's how you pronounce that name.
Amadeo.
I'm sorry.
I love you, man. What is the actual TOS % off discount limit on which Amazon will consider verified review? Good question. I think it's 25%. I read that the other day. I'm not sure if that's 100% true. All I know is that you shouldn't even be doing a discount when you're getting reviews. Am I supposed to tell them how to get reviews on here? If you need help getting reviews, come in our Facebook group and we'll answer them for you. But you shouldn't be doing a discount to get reviews. Amedio, I'm sorry, we don't know how to say your name. He asked again, what is the best strategy launch for ranking #1 on keywords and, of course, to sell and reviews? Zon Jump, viral launch, Facebook ads, PPC, YouTube influencer, and secrets of them, and pros and cons for each of them. Wow.
Jeez, that is a loaded question.
I'm gonna knock this out. We're gonna knock this out.
Best strategy launch for ranking #1. Go.
Viral launch, 100%. Pay $400 and launch for all those keywords.
Okay, and of course to sell and reviews. Do we use Facebook ad? Okay, Facebook ads for selling and stuff on Amazon.
Pros and cons. Pro is if you have a product that is easily demonstratable with a video. Because you can't post a video on Amazon PPC, right? If you need to use a video to demonstrate it, use Facebook ads. If not, just keep them on Amazon. It's easier. The buyers are already there. Just use PPC.
What's PPC? Is it good?
PPC is great. It's the first thing we talk about doing when you do a launch. You get 10 reviews and you turn on PPC. Check out our step-by-step checklist if you want to see the steps for how to launch a product.
YouTube influencers.
YouTube influencers. We'll talk about your product on here if you want. It's a great. No, we won't.
It's dope.
If it's dope, it's a great strategy. It's a more long-term strategy. Pros and cons are you have to build an audience over time. Like Tatiana, who came on our channel, has really built her audience over the course of a year, more than that. So it's a long-term strategy.
Yep. And then he wants sequence of each. We actually just came out with a video that was basically setting goals to know where you're at each step. Follow that checklist of goals, and that'll give you the sequence for each.
Yep. And I totally answered that question wrong. For YouTube influencer, you mean getting it in front of someone who already has an audience. Definitely could work. Definitely a pain. You would have to contact, I would say, at least 10 to 20 influencers for every one that puts you on their channel.
Yep.
So you're going to have to send a ton of emails if you want to get on there.
We have actually done this before. We've had our products show up on other YouTube, not like other YouTube channels, but other YouTube channels, and talked about it. And we did see, you know, some sales jumps from it, but it did, once again, make sure you have a quality product, because if you have a not good product and you send it to a YouTube influencer, you could end up getting crapped on and then you lose everything. So make sure it's a good quality product. Okay, this is actually the last question.
Christian Hill!
Last question that was on our Facebook group. We're going to be doing these more often, so make sure you join our Facebook group. Check it out. And then every time that we're going to do one of these videos, either me or Kale will post something saying, like, within the next 48 hours, we're going to film a video, ask your questions. So last question is, what are your recommendations for customer service and how to make the most out of each organic review? For example, best way to promote getting a review, discount code for a second product, or related product?
Great question. It's definitely migrating towards product inserts over emails at this stage. There's this new thing. I know you guys are getting a bunch of emails. I get this question. I got this question 10 times today. All my emails are saying they're not being delivered because people are opting out. That's right. People are now able to opt out of receiving emails from sellers on Amazon, which means that your emails are not getting through from your autoresponder. So that means we have to go back to the Stone Ages and we have to get product inserts. So what should we put on the product insert, T?
Well, you have to make sure that you're not going against Amazon's terms of service too when you're doing product inserts. So you cannot say things like, hey, I'll give you a discount code for your next product if you leave me a review. You can't say that. You have to be careful about how you word things, how you say things, so that Amazon doesn't just yank all your stuff down, right? But saying thank you is great. I think that saying, hey, would you please leave an honest review on this product? I think that that is great. I think that if you have something in there, especially if you have something like a related product, and you say, hey, my store, Kale's brand, also sells this product. Come on Amazon and check it out because it relates heavily to this product. Something like that. I think that that's a great way to market. And I mean, people can't opt out of those. Like, they're going to open that. They may just throw it away, but people will look at it. So using product inserts for customer service. I mean, Amazon hides phone numbers, emails, all that kind of stuff. So you can't really reach out to people. But I mean, look at what Tatiana did, where she built her brand, built relationship, where people trust her. She comes out with a new product, they go and buy it. So you could go with that approach too.
And quick hacks, and for these people that watch the end of the videos, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep putting gold nuggets at the end of videos for you loyal people that watch the whole thing. Okay, so here's one. I had a student send me the other day their product insert, and I thought this was probably the best idea I've seen in a long time. On the front, it's a two-sided product insert, right? I won't give away who the seller is, but it had a literal picture of the two. It was a couple who was selling the product. It said, your review affects real people in, and then the city name, and it had a picture of the sellers. And I thought to myself, holy crap, like, I would not write a one-star review seeing these two smiling faces and knowing that my one-star review hurts these two people, right? And on the backside, lo and behold, it said, hey, if you've had a great experience, leave us a 5-star review. And then it said, but wait, if you've had anything less than a 5-star experience, contact us, and it put their email address, which was outside of Amazon. So think about that. First of all, they're not going to leave you a bad review. They see your face. They don't want to leave you a bad review. If they have any problems, they're going to email you outside of Amazon, and then you can start to say, hey, look, I'll send you a new one. I'll give you $5 if you review this product. Like, you can do stuff that you cannot say on Amazon's platform, right? And then, like other than that, you're gonna get more 5-star reviews because they saw your face. So that's as a golden nugget at the end. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. If you saw that golden nugget, comment below.
So that was our first Q&A video. We're gonna do more of these. We're gonna be posting more, posting, hey, ask us questions. We'll be doing more of these because these are just broadcast out for everybody. And you know, if you're asking a question, then that definitely means that somebody else has the question.
Yep.
You know, we are considering, we're not promising anything. We're considering doing things like live streams, stuff like that, where we could actually answer questions in real time. But I hope you guys liked it.
Yep. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We really appreciate it. Like I said, every single one of those 1,000 that we got before this, we literally thank you so much. And it's so fun. Like, it's awesome.
It is fun.
It's awesome growing this community, and you guys are literally some of the coolest people I've ever talked to. So thanks for being here.
Now we're signing out after a dance break. Go.
Can I eat my Jimmy John's now? I'm hungry, bro.
So Jimmy John's got delivered while we were filming.
Shout out to Jimmy John's.
Shout out to Jimmy John's.
Free marketing. Hey, you guys get the Beach Club? Beach Club is
We're not sponsored by Jimmy John's, but...
We are sponsored by Jimmy John's.
No, we're not. We can get in trouble for saying that.
Oh.
No, we're not. But...
Guys, watch me
Jimmy John's...
Watch me eat this Beach Club.
You've got a big mouth. Jimmy John's, if you happen to see the last 15 seconds of this video and you would like to sponsor us, we eat Jimmy John's like...
15 times a day.
14 times a second. Reach out to us. We will gladly be sponsored by Jimmy John's.
Love you.
Love you.
That's fire. Forgot.